Hello everyone, and welcome to So Many Games So Little Time. My name is Joachim, and today we're going to play Civolution solo. Now, I've played this game a bunch already. I've played it with other people. I've played it solo a bunch of times. So yeah, we'll just see what happens in this game, right? So first of all, what is Civolution? It's a civilization game. I am going to go over the rules a little bit. I guess you could see it kind of like a how to play, but I'm just going to try and do it fast. But I don't think I'm very good at doing it fast, because I tried the same thing for SETI, and I ended up making a longer how to play than the regular videos of how to play. Well, whatever. We'll see. Okay, so first of all, what is Civolution? Let's read the intro. Dear student beings, I and the cosmic faculty of the Technical Academy of Creation warmly welcome you to your Civolution, the most important exam in the field of civilization design. For those who do not know me, my name is Agera, and as the directional entity of this institution, I am responsible for conducting the exam. This time, we have chosen a humanoid-based scenario on a secluded continent. Each of you is assigned the role of a local deity, closely bound to your own civilization, and tasked with leading it to success in competition with the others. The developmental possibilities are endless, ranging from cultural and technological progress to evolutionary biological adaptations. For example, what would advance your civilization more? The invention of the wheel or growing wings? Prove that you can master the control of your console and that you can adapt to variable environmental parameters as well as various creation chaotic conditions. The exam ends after 4 eras. Whoever has gathered the most success points with their civilization by then will not only pass the exam, but will also have the opportunity to ascend to the next level as a full member of the Technical Academy of Creation. I wish you all a successful Civolution. Alright, so basically we are AIs. We're all doing an exam and so on, and I hope that I'll pass. And then I'll go on to the next game that I guess Developmental is designing right now. But how does the game exactly work? Now, I will do a how to play a little bit, and then we'll play the game. I'll go through the different steps. First of all, we've got new cards. That means these 5 decks will flip over the top card. We've got mutation, invention, building, achievement, and insight. How it exactly works, I will talk about that later. Also, the weather event deck will flip its card. The weather will start at mild, but these cards will affect that. It will also have a certain event that will then happen at the end of the round, or the end of the era, I should say. Then you have new goals. Those are these 4 here, and you've got different types of goals, but you should, during the game, try to complete these, okay? Because they're quite valuable. So, for example, the first one requires you to have copper. Now you can see copper has a gold background. Here you see the resources with a gold background. They're found in the desert, and salt is one of them. Okay. Now you start in 2 locations, in the forest and in the grasslands. So the desert is here, here, and here. The setup is randomized. All right. So I'm gonna have to go find some salt, or if I take the bottom one, it's the top one. It says copper. That's also found in the desert. You know. So basically, I have to choose one and hopefully get it. Why would I choose those goals over the other 2? The other 2 are locations, which are like all these, right? And you have to explore them first. So first I'd have to find a mushroom valley and then have 2 people near it. Or I have to find a gorge of the, the grim wolves, which is actually bad because it makes you lose people. So that's not as appealing. Those goals are better when it's already out on the board. Anyway, if you choose a goal, let's say I choose salt, you put it here on your console, and then throughout the game you can take a certain action and then complete it. I'll talk more about it when I explain the action. Okay, so for now I'll put it back. So everybody does that, and then we have the extra find. Now, as you can see, the game has many resources, and we only start in 2 locations. Now, the extra find basically gives you a free resource that you will immediately put on your console, not on the board. Because everything on the board, you will still need to do a transport action to bring it back to your console, okay? It's there. In this case, the oil is ready, it's in barrels, but it isn't in your HQ yet, so you have to transport it. However, this extra find just gives you a free one. There is a limitation though. You need to have a tribesman, or have to have a tribesman there in that location. So in this case, I can only get a free good from grassland or forest. So I can check these two columns and then choose one of those goods. For example, I could choose gold and put it here. Okay, that would be an option. Or and why would I choose gold? Well, there might be a goal that requires it, or the cards that you start with, by the way, they might require certain goods, so you might go for that as well. Or you might go for a very valuable one, so you can sell it for money, and then that money you can use to buy other things or anything else. Okay, so that's that. Then you've got the action phase. Now the action phase, that is where you use your console, you will build cards, you will move around on the map, you will make new tribesmen, you will upgrade stuff. You will keep going until you reset a certain number of times, you and the AI or your opponents, and then it'll go down, 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 down. It'll be finished, and then we continue with 5. Now, of course, I'm going to explain everything more in detail later. The side phase means you look at all the locations and see if you have people there. So you check, okay, is there anyone there? No, 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 yes, yes, yes. If so, you do whatever it says. For example, if you are near the Mystic Oak, you will get points if you have people next to it. Okay. So then the next part is a feeding phase. It is a Stefan Feld game, so there is some feeding. So you will feed your people. Now, you can also choose not to feed your people. And if you don't feed your people, they will lie down. Okay. Also, if they are in a campfire, which is the circles, they require 1 food. If they are in the wilderness, they require 2 food. How would they ever get into the wilderness? Well, maybe at one point, I will make a new guy, and instead of putting him here, I will put him here and push the AI into the wilderness. That could be, you could do that. You can push people away if you enter a territory. Even though if you push them away, you will automatically get fatigued because you just had a fight. Not the AI though. The AI is special. They don't get fatigued, but more about that later. Now, why would you want to feed them anyway? Because if they're lying down and you don't feed them again, they will disappear. But also, if they're still standing up after the feeding phase, each one of them will give you 1 point. Give you 1 point. So those are called strong tribes, okay? Because they are well fed. Then you move the weather indicator according to the card. Then you do the event on the weather in the weather deck. Then you will score this era scoring category. Now here you have the 4 eras and the scoring category. So in this game, the first one will be the mutation, I believe it's called. Sorry, not mutation, evolution. So this the bottom here, all right? That will score. So for example, if I have like 1 in stamina, 1 in composure, and 1 in expressiveness, that will give me 3 times 5. So that'll give me 15 points. Now, you're going to start with a couple of them because the starting cards, they will give you maybe 1 or 2. So you're going to have probably at least 10 points already, but you can also increase them. How? You can see at the top of stamina, intelligence, composure, and so on, you can see the 2 numbers, 1, 1. So if I have 2 1s, for example, 1 and 1, right? Then I could spend these to increase my stamina with 1 and then exhaust my dice. Okay, so then I have 1 more stamina. Now, why would you want to increase your stamina? Not only for the era scoring, but also certain cards will require it, and then you can easily play them. Also, you've got these attribute chips who require certain attributes to be high, and then you can take it and it'll give you a power. All right. So, for example, we have this one requires 4 stamina, this one requires 4 intelligence, this one requires 3 dexterity. What they'll do, I'll talk about later after I've explained the game a bit more. Then we will see whoever scores the highest, I think it is, yeah, they will become first player. Okay, so if you score the most points, you'll become first player. Then we go down, you gain income from income chips. So these are income chips. So if you see a hand, if you have that, you will get that at that point. Once again, these starting cards will give you one. You can see it here, the hand. It will give you an income chip. Also, you will score statues. Now, there is a way of building buildings, and one of those buildings is a statue. It would look like this. And then for each statue, you would get 1 point But also, it depends on the favor of Agira, depending on how far you are here. So let's say if I am here, then each statue will be times 3. So if I have 2 statues, I get 6 points. So moving up that track might be interesting as well. This track can also be used if you're like here and you're going to lose a guy, right? Then you can lower it by 1 to save him. Okay, but I'll repeat that later again. Okay, so there's a scoring error. What is the second error scoring? The diamond is called prosperity. Okay, so prosperity, you can see that on your console, you have diamonds here. So every 3 food you have will give you 1 prosperity. That's why you should always put it to the side to see how much. And every 2 money will give you 1 prosperity. And then also if you, or when you build buildings, this one will give you 1, but this one will give you 3, and this one also 3, and this one 2. And then also with your goods, your resources, if you, for example, if you have 1 coal, it will give you nothing. You need to have a connection. So if you have 1 coal and 1 peat, there's 1 diamond in the middle that will give you 1 prosperity. And if you have 1 in tar, then this connection will give you 2. Remove this one, you have nothing. Okay? Remove this one, it's just 2. All right? That's how prosperity works and how you can quickly get prosperity. So basically during that era, it's probably more a case of getting as many resources as you can, dumping them there, and then wait until the next era to actually spend them so you can score high points. Because every single one of you gives you 4 points. So you can imagine if you can get like 10 or 20, then be massive points. 3 and 4 are easy because these are tracks. Okay, just like these 2 are also tracks, is boosted. You go up the tracks mostly through cards or through here, which is the activity that you can do. If you do an activity, which you can sometimes do thanks to the weather or through an action, then you can spend, for example, 1 gold here and go up a track. Now, why would you want to go up a track? Because it gives you a bunch of bonuses. For example, I'm red, so let's say if I go to level 2 of the culture track, then it says I can flip the color. Now you can see it has a 5 next to it. That means I look at number 5. Any tile with a 5, I can upgrade to level 2 or level 3. So I choose one of them. So obviously upgrading is always very good, so that's always a good thing to do. If I keep going up, the next one, I can improve this track, or the hand here, you do not get a new chip. You can just perform one of your chips, okay? Just to make that clear, you don't get a new one. Then next one, same thing again, flip it over. Next one, get 3 points. Next one, get 3 points, and flip one of these over, which is huge, but I'll explain later why it's huge. And then 3 points as well. After that, you keep getting more stuff. It's 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, and so on. So of course, all these rewards count for all the lines. So you can see there's no number 6. So the 6s, they can only be flipped over thanks to the other 5, right? And then you've got C, hunting. So you have hunting tokens, these ones, they'll be on the board. You just remove them at the end of the era. And then you equip empty reset columns with new markers. These are reset columns that I'll explain in a second. And then they just get refilled, okay? All right, so next up, we will talk about how you actually really play this game, and that has everything to do with your console. So the left side, that is more affected by what happens on the right side. Okay, so the right side here has all the actions, and you have the dice from 1 to 6. You start with 1 to 6, and that gives you a fair amount of options. But if you ever reset, you'll be rolling all of them. So you might suddenly have 4 5s and 1 2 or something, and be like, what? And maybe a 1 because it needs to have 6. Now you only have 6 dice, but you can also get more, but more about that later. Let's first look at what all the different actions do very quickly. First of all, you've got sleep. Sleep is basically what you do when you cannot do anything else anymore. Or you need a very specific thing. Because if you want to activate sleep, you just take any 2 numbers, doesn't matter the value, you exhaust the dice, then you get 1 focus or 2 ideas. So 1 focus or 2 ideas. So what is the difference between focus and ideas? Well, focus can be any number. It's basically a die, and you choose the value. That's what focus is, so very powerful. Ideas allow you to change the value of a die. So you can change a 2 to a 3, or you can change a 1 to a 6, or a 6 to a 1, or a 4 to a 5, always +1 or -1, and it goes around. So 6 to 1 and 1 to 6, okay? So it's also very powerful, all right? So sleep is not bad, but it tends to be, you're actually wasting 2 dice to get either 1 die or being able to adjust other dice. You will start with several of those as well. You can see the icons here. But I haven't chosen the cards yet. We'll do that after I've explained the game. All right, so next is the first real one is research. You can see here you require a 1 and a 2. So I can say, okay, I'll take these 2, up, exhaust, and then I do research. So in research, I can take any of the face-up cards, or I can top deck 2 cards and choose 1. Very simple, right? And of course, you can upgrade it to become stronger. So for example, the level 3 would be you take 2 and then, or 2 face up, or you take 4 and choose 2. And then I'm not always going to go through all the level ups. Sometimes I'll show you, sometimes it's just everything is in the booklet anyway. It's very easy to see. All right, so then we have the next column, the 3 column basically. So we have activity. Activity already explained. You just do this. You still have to pay and everything, but you do that one. And if you upgrade it, it's either choose 2 different ones or choose this. You can choose the same one twice. Then you've got migration. Migration is basically moving around. So level 1 is just you move 1 guy. So for example, if I activate it, I just go here. Now, if I go to a new location, obviously you go to the fireplace because it gives you points. In this case, it would give me 2 points. I would flip over this good, and then I would put a good marker here. Because if you are first there, then you can also get the good. However, if the AI had been here already and I arrive, I would not add a good, okay? So that's how that works. That's migration. And as you upgrade migration, you can not only move more, but you also get this icon. This icon is the favor of Agera, and that means you roll the pink die. And if you roll a success, which at this point means rolling a 1, which is not easy, then you get whatever it says next to it. So in level 2, I roll my die, and maybe I can move 2 guys or 1 guy twice. If my Agera is all the way over here, that means 1 to 4 are successes. So if I then roll 1, okay, I would have gotten it anyway. If I roll again, 6, okay, I would not get it. But even with a 6, I could, for example, spend 1 idea to turn it into a 1, and then I would get it anyway. So even the pink die, you can still mitigate through ideas. All right, so that's why the favor of Agera is very important, because this icon will pop up regularly. Okay, then the next action we have is planning. Planning is very interesting. First of all, you can finish a goal. So let's say I have salt here, right here. And then I finish it, okay, I remove the salt that I have, and then I will flip this over, and then I can put it either on this row, or on this row, or on this row. But once I put it there, this location is only for goals. Yeah. So if I complete a second one, I can either put it on top or put it next to it. Now, why would I put it on top? Maybe because I want to reach the higher points, because this gives you 2 points at the end of the game. This row gives you 3. This gives you 4. This, if unlocked, gives you 7. This, if unlocked, gives you 10. Remember, you can unlock one of them if you reach this spot. We'll find other spots later. Why would you put it next to it? Well, because if you complete a whole row, then you get the bonus. In this case, you get an income chip. In this case, you flip one of them. So basically, if you get 2 rows and you get this one, both of these will be flipped. If you go even higher, there's no more rewards. It's just these 2 rows, but you get more points, of course. Also, if you have another goal, you cannot do it like this, okay? Once you've chosen one area, you have to stick to it. You cannot suddenly go anywhere else. So people who think like, okay, I'm not going to score a lot of goals, it's better to put it here, so they at least give you 4 points, okay? But that's personal opinion, of course. You don't have to take my word for it. Another reason why completing goals is very good is because you can do this. The moment you complete a goal, you can flip any power up one level. You can upgrade a power for one level, which of course is very powerful. Anything. So completing goals can also make you stronger, faster. All right, so that is planning. The second part of planning, because it says or, you have an option, means you can take two of these and you can put them on any number, and they basically become dice of that number. So you can say, okay, you know what? I just lost my 1 and 2. I'm going to put 2 on 2s. So now I can still do an activity with 2 and 3, like this, because that's a 2. All right, and it gets even better, because if you upgrade planning, it becomes 3, and so 3 is even nicer. But also, if you have level 3, I think, yeah, level 3, then you can complete a goal and take a new one. Otherwise, you have to wait for next round. Okay, next is sustenance. Like I told you already, we have to feed the people. If you don't feed the people, they feel faint and they're weak. Now, you can use sustenance to flip one back up. If you upgrade it farther, you can flip one up, flip 3 of them up, and then finally 4 of them up. Or you can use sustenance to hunt. Now, how does hunt work? Simple. You look at where you are, so grassland or forest in this case. You look at the hunting table, and you look whatever gives you the most food, basically. So in this case, that would be forest, because it's 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, while grassland is only 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Okay. The highest would be water. So if you have a boat and you're at water, here, here, or here, then you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. The worst is, of course, the desert with 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 1. So if you say, okay, I'm going to hunt, then you're going to roll your favor of Agera die and then see what happens. 3. So in this case, in the forest, I would get 3 food. Grassland would also be 3 food. Then once you do it, you take a hunting token and you put it in the forest, if you chose that one, before rolling. Then nobody can hunt there anymore. Okay? So if a lot of people do a lot of hunting, you can suddenly be forced to go and hunt in the desert or whatever. Of course, if you upgrade hunting, the next level, nothing changes, but the third level, you can hunt twice. Okay? There's also an upgrade, an attribute chip here, that if you have 3 dexterity, you can give up 1, you can remove 1 dexterity and get the agile civilization. And it says at the start of every feeding phase, so here, you automatically hunt. So that's pretty nice, okay? And this golden one, this is a color in itself. That means you cannot just add it wherever you want. It has to have its own place. So for example, here, or there, or there. It doesn't really matter. But if you put it anywhere, that can only be for these kind of chips, okay? Nothing else can join it. Well, no, there is one thing that can join it, and that is the income chips, because they have a rainbow at the bottom. They can go in any stack, all right? So just FYI. Next one is exploration. So I already talked about exploration a little bit. You just flip it over, right? So exploration means you're going to flip over all of them where you are. So for example, if we do exploration here in the forest, these 2 would be flipped over. If we do in the grassland, these 2 would be flipped over. However, if we do it in the desert, it would be 1, 2, 3. So some places have a lot of neighboring tiles to explore. For example, if you're on the water, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 in one go. And when you flip these tiles, they will give you points. You can see a little question mark here. They'll give you points and will also affect the area around them. Could be positive, could also be negative. Then number 1, it's a lucky find. Okay, so lucky find basically means that you choose one of your land territories, make a roll with your fate die. This is a fate die, right? And gain 1 stored material whose storage space of that territory's type matches one of the rolled values. So basically you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You simply roll, and let's say I'm in the forest, 4, forest, I get wax. Even though wax is not here, you're lucky to find it. Okay, so these are lucky finds in exploration. I had to look it up because in all the games I've played, I've never used it. I've always just used it to flip these tiles. But you know, even for the prosperity now, it could actually be quite good. If you upgrade it, you still just get 1 lucky find, and you can get 2 points if you explore. And not only can you explore the things around you, but also 1 in the distance. Upgrade even more, you can still do the regular explore, but you get 4 points extra, or you can do 2 lucky finds. All right. Okay, then the next one, you have 1 sale and 1 purchase. Now, 1 sale and 1 purchase, that means you're going to look here at your goods, right? If you sell, you can see the value on the left. So the top row will give you 1 money, the second one will give you 2, the bottom one will give you 3, okay? However, when you buy, okay, it will cost $4. But if we already found it, for example, the oil or the herbs, it'll only be $2 to buy, okay? So this is just the sell value, not the buy value, okay? When you sell, you can actually do 2 sell actions. One, you can sell for the money, like I said, 1, 2, 3, and the other one, you can sell for 2 points, all right? And then when you purchase, you can buy 1 thing for $4 or for 2, okay? So keep that in mind. Even though it says 1 sale, 1 purchase, the sale is actually a double part. And then as you upgrade it, you can just do more. So 2 sale, 2 purchase, you get 2 money, 2 sale, 2 purchase. So that can quickly ramp up, especially if you have a lot of bottom ones, you can get a lot of money very quickly. Then you've got production. So production, very, very simple. On the left, it means you produce 2 of these in areas. So it can be different areas. You can say I can produce 1 here, and 1 there, 1 here, done. Of course, you have to be there, right? Otherwise, you can't produce. The other one is you roll your fate die to see if you can transport 1. So if, let's say, at the moment we're at 1, I roll a 2, but I use an idea that I happen to have, I change it into a 1. So now, not only can I produce twice, but I can also transport 1 back to my console, okay? And of course, when you upgrade it, it just becomes more. Like the level 3 is 4 production and 2 transports without having to roll the die, okay? Procreation, you make new people, just gets you 1. If you upgrade it, you can either get 1, you can roll to get another one, or you get 2 and you roll to make a weak tribe strong. Transport is just the amount, so 3 transport turns into 6 transport, turns into you transport everything, including your ship, including your boat, basically. For the boat, it also means that whatever comes off your boat, you can put it anywhere you want. So it's pretty powerful. All right, last row, you've got achievement. So if you use the left side, you get 1 extra die. You can see there's 3 dice of each type available. You choose one of them, you get it, all right? And also you can play a purple card, which is an achievement card, okay? Because that's what's called achievement. If you upgrade it, you can get a white and a fate die. You can play a card. You can get a white and a fate die, and one of the requirements of the card can be ignored or is already finished. So for example, if you look at this mine, you need 1 wood, you need 1 dexterity, and you need 1 vision. Now, if you have the upgrade level 3, that means one of these can just be ignored. You've already done it, okay? So that also brings me to how do you actually play it. I'll give a quick example. If you want to play it in level 1, level 1 means you would play it here, like this, okay? Within the parameters of the lines, right? You place it here, and you can see this circle here. You just make sure it's like halfway. That's how you play it. So you can put it here, 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 here. If you do it there, you only have to pay 1 wood. If you want to put it here, though, the second level, you need to have 1 wood and 1 dexterity. You want to put it even higher, level 3, you need to have vision too. You want to do level 4, there are no extra costs. So you do that, and then you get the reward, which in this case is 3 resources. Then you have other cards, like this one, that even if you put it in level 1, you can also pay level 2 and level 3 just to get the points, if you want to. All right? And some of these have actions. Other cards have, like, I don't know if there's many like this here, probably not. For example, well, let's go through it. The next one is building, right? Building, you can also play a blue card. So, for example, this one, a temple. You can see here why maybe you would want to spend all these resources to get all these points, because you can get up to 15 points. if you do everything. And also you will go up the tracks a lot. So this is actually a very powerful card. And this is one of the cards that I wanted to show. Some of these have activities. So when you activate the activity power on your console, you can actually choose the one that's printed on it to go up a track, or you can do this, which in this case means you spend 1 food to get 1 focus, 2 ideas, and 3 points, which is actually pretty nice. And that allows me to explain one more thing here. This costs 1 peat and 1 stone, but it would be free if you have 3 or 2 buildings or temples already built, these 2. If you build them already, this card basically becomes free, okay? So yeah, so there's a bunch of different cards like this. This is a point bonus at the end of the game. That might happen as well. So there's a wide variety of cards like that. So with building, you can look here. These are the buildings you can build. So the first one is a settlement. Sorry, it's not a temple, it's a settlement. So these settlements have different costs, and they also give you different prosperity. So this is only papyrus and wood, so it's kind of cheap because it's just 2 level 1s. And then you place them here. Now here you can either build 2 statues or a settlement and a statue, and then you're finished building. Done. So where else can you build? Well, some of these locations are building spots, and there you can put something else out. Okay. All right. Then the next one. So these have all different costs. Okay. The next one are farms. So farms, they go on these little squares. So that means once someone builds a farm, nobody else can build a farm there. All right. Also, a farm will make sure. Of course, you have to build where you are. If I build a farm there, I don't have to feed my people. All right. Also, building a farm gives you 1 idea. Farms, they feed you as long as you're not in the wilderness. In the wilderness, you would still have to pay 1 food. So that's a good idea to build a farm. And it's free. You don't have to pay any resources to build a farm. You just put it out there and you get 1 idea. You can also build a boat, and you can see these boats, they already come with a resource. So if you are next to a water area, you can just put them in. You can see you have the icons everywhere. Then they are there. And then you can also immediately, if there's a guy on the shore, you can immediately put him on the boat. Okay. So there we go. That's also something you can do. And once again, remember, if you collect when you collect the resources from a boat, with the upgrade, you can put it anywhere. But if you collect it during a regular time, so let's say the boat is here, right? And you collect the resource, you can choose it to be oil or one of the ones that are discovered and nearby, like that. Also, if you build a statue, that also have to go there, and you can see the costs here. For example, to build here, it would be 1 gold, 1 jade, or 1 copper to build a statue here. And if you do, you can immediately go up one of the tracks. And remember, you can get a lot of points from them too if you happen to have upgraded your favor of Agera. Okay, so what is the upgrade for building? Well, you can just build 2 different buildings or 2 buildings and they can be the same. Then for the orange cards, the insights, so I'll give you some examples, but they're mostly the same. Well, not mostly the same. These apparently seem to focus a little bit more on your evolution, right? And they give you 3 ideas. Now, if you upgrade this, 3 becomes 6 ideas, okay? So 6 ideas is pretty sweet because that means you have 6 ones to mitigate. Then you've got mutation. So these basically change the way your people are, like night vision, electric organ, and here you see a lot of mutation, of course, evolution. So those are all those. So if you really upgrade these, the green cards become very interesting. So basically mutation means you can take one of these and move them anywhere. You don't have to go like 1 or 2, no, just anywhere you want. You want to put them in intelligence, you put it in intelligence, no problem. But only one of them. When you upgrade it, you can move 2, upgrade it again, it stays 2, but you can now have a green card with a discount. Invention means you get the income of one of your income chips, or you upgrade your brown card, and that becomes 2 income chips, or you get a discount. And the brown cards are inventions, so they look a bit like this. There's mostly just a combination of both, But as you can see, sometimes you can even have an upgrade of a specific console action, like sustenance in this case. Whenever you perform a hunt, gain in addition 1 food and 2 points, stuff like that, right? So that is basically everything here. When you run out of dice, so remember, when you're placing dice, you can have a combination of dice, focus dice, because they're basically a free dice, also planning tokens that you might have put on stuff, right? And also you can mitigate them with ideas. But eventually you will run out of dice. When you do, you can reset, and then you do this here. Basically, you go through the steps. You do A. So let's say we are here, and you are the first to pass. We go there, up. Then you go to B, which means you take all your dice, not the fate die, just the white ones. You roll. So in this case, my roll, this was halfway, will be 6, 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1. So it's not that much different from the original roll, but whatever. You roll, and then you can choose, you take this marker, and you put it either in food, or you put it in ideas. That's it. And then you do again, you do again. People will keep doing it until you reach here. And then it says, literally, the next time the starting civilization takes a turn, then it will be the last action round. So if let's say I'm first player, and I go down and I activate this, right? Then we have to wait until it's my turn again, and then it will be the last round. Okay. However, if the person next to me goes there, and then it's my turn, then it'll be the last round for everyone. So timing can sometimes be important as well, as when you want to pass and when you don't want to pass. So let me quickly see if I've forgotten anything. The weather card, I will explain that when it comes up. I've explained all this. I've explained the things here as well, the pushing and the shoving, but it'll become clear when we are playing. These ones I've explained. I haven't explained all the powers though. So let's look at ingenious civilization. It requires 4 intelligence, and you lose 1 when you take it. Whenever you activate your sleep module, so remember sleep is when you want to get 1 focus or 2 ideas, you may also install 1 insight. So insight is orange, or 1 invention card, which is green. And of course you still have to pay, but this just allows you to do 2 things at the same time. Then you've got tenacious civilization that requires stamina, 4 stamina. Your civilization remains unaffected by grim wolves, glaciers, and the negative effects of the weather, which is pretty nice because sometimes that can be annoying. But I guess it also depends on what comes out and so on. Yeah, as far as I know, I've explained everything. If there's anything that pops up that I didn't, then I'll be sure to implement it later. But yeah, so the biggest parts is just you do your actions, you try to get some kind of engine going a little bit, make sure you can always do as much as you can before resetting. You try to score these as much as possible. You also try to make sure that you get points from there, because even you don't need to have a full line to score points, by the way. Like this one already gives you 4 points. So if you put 2 goals there, it's automatically 8 points. Or if you take one of these, for example, and put it here, it's 4 points. Also, you want to try to get higher and then flip one of these, because 7 and 10 points can be a big difference. Especially in the solo game, because the solo player, the AI, does not score this. Well, since I've talked about the base game long enough, if you look at the AI, how does a solo player work exactly? Well, you have to set up the cards like this, because they help you in deciding how the AI works exactly. It also has an overview from the phases. Like phase 1, the AI does nothing. They don't, because we're just doing cards, right? We're feeding cards. Phase 2, you take a goal, they will just roll a die to see whether they take a goal or not. But they don't actually take a goal, they just discard it, okay? Phase 3 is when you have an extra find, they take nothing. Phase 4 is basically you do actions with these cards. These cards will say what will happen, and well, I'll just show you. So you'll reveal a card, and then you roll a die, and you do what it says. Red is higher difficulty, blue is regular difficulty. We're going to play on regular today. And then you can see you have like a blue square and a red circle. So the moment you have 4 of these, let's say I have 3 already and I reveal this card, I won't do this card, but they will reset immediately. Okay, so some cards have 2, some cards have 1, 2, 2, 1, just 1. So it depends. So these are simple cards. You also have other cards like this one. Each of the 3 scoring categories with scoring tiles in the final scoring area. So here, final scoring area. Then, for example, they would increase here, here, and here. What it says here would happen at the bottom, right? So this era scoring category, 4th era scoring category, and so on. So you've got these kind of cards. So they basically will do all the actions human players do as well. And if you need to decide where you need to go, and it's not clear from the guidelines, you would roll a die and then see. And the cool part is as well, if you, let's say the AI is in both forests, right? And it's a tie and you roll a forest, it's a tie again. Then you look at how many fires they are and what number you rolled, because there are mini fires in each location, which you probably didn't notice the first time. But when you play with the AI, you have to pay attention to that. So yeah, they have different ways of feeding and everything. For example, theirs lies down. It's called provision. If 2 of these ever arrive, then they would cover the farm space here. Okay, so. But let's specifically talk about how the AI actually works. First of all, they only have 15 of these guys, well, plus those 2, so 17, and then 50 markers. They don't use any other buildings. The only building they build are statues, by the way. You've got the display cards here. You've got the deck here. So I'm not going to go through over all the actions of the solo player because it's all a lot of like do this and then this and then this and then this. It is much easier to show you while we're playing. So what I'll do is I will put timestamps whenever it's the solo player's turn. All right, whenever it's the AI's turn. That way you can skip to the AI's turn if you want to know how exactly it plays. Okay, that'll be easier than me doing every little single thing. Of course, some things are obvious. You can see here the evolution and the prosperity. On the cards, it will say add 1 to it. And with the evolution, once they reach these little tokens, then one of these will be removed. Once they reach in the prosperity, once they reach the income tiles, one of those will be removed, and so on. Okay. All right. So I think this brings us to the fact that it's time to start the game. And before I can start, I still have to choose my cards, which we will do together, and also we will reset this. Okay. Okay, so everything's been set up here, and like I said, I just need to get my cards, right? So because we're not doing this the newcomer's way, but the advanced way, which means I'm going to draw 2 cards from each research stack here, and then I'm going to shuffle the starting marker cards, which are these, and choose and get 3 of them, and then the rest go away. Okay, so now I have 13 cards, and of course I have to choose 1 of each type here, and 1 of this as well. So in the end, I have 5 research cards, and then whatever it says here will appear on my console, right? And then later on, we'll have starting chips. So first this, all right? So shuffle, and get 3 of those. So make some more space here to put like an overview. Put these away for now. So we have this one as a possible start. This one. Oh, this can go away. These 3 can also go away because that was from the explaining. And this one. So these are the 3 potential starting markers. Then we have 2 mutation cards. This one, Gills and Venomous Sting. And we have 2 invention cards. So maybe I'll put these up a little bit. We have a plow. And then We have makeup. Okay, then plow and makeup. And then we have 2 buildings. We have a tavern, which looks pretty nice, and a ziggurat. And we have 2 achievements. So we have irrigation and currency. And we have 2 insight cards. And that is smoked food and mathematics. All right, so those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 13 cards. So there's a lot of things to look out for. For example, what does everything cost? What is in my starting regions? For example, I do not have any wood, which is already required here. This one requires oil. I start with oil. So makeup seems interesting. I would go up 3 spots on the, what do you call it, track? The prestige track, which I guess is nice because that immediately would allow me to flip one of these. And it would score me points in a distant era. And if I put it in level 1, it would be pretty cheap to do because, like I said, there's oil there already. However, plow would roughly do the same thing because I can do 2 activities, but it would cost me 2 gold to do that. So it's actually not that good. But the action is good of plow because whenever you transport grassland materials, you may place them onto any of your grassland storage spaces. So if I bring this one home, I can actually put them on wax, on herbs, papyrus, or gold. But nevertheless, I'm going for makeup because it's much easier to build because none of the others require any oil. So I'm definitely going to be able to build this. So makeup already goes into my hand and plow already goes away. And is it just discard? They go to the bottom. Okay. All right, so bottom. So that's already gone. Then let's look at gills and venomous sting. Now they have the same costs. So basically it's just whatever interests me. And then I might lean towards here, but that depends on the other stuff that I might keep as well. So Gil says, your civilization can use water territories in which you have no boats, as though you had one there. So basically, a guy can just move onto the water because we've got gills. And then it's much easier to basically move around, but also to fish and so on. And then venomous sting is after using your migration module, so basically if you move to a different area, if there are any foreign tribes members in the territory that your last one migrated to, they are weakened immediately. And this one, in the end, it doesn't give me any bonus here, but here has a bonus on the top, and it also allows me to go up there. I think I'm leaning towards venomous sting. It's also a bit cooler to walk around with stings than with gills. Although the hunting is pretty nice, and I am next to water here, so I could very quickly get to there. This is a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Still, I'm going to go for venomous sting. Yeah. Maybe gills was better, but we'll never know. You can say in the comments, yeah, gills was obviously better. My God. Okay, we got mathematics. So basically, that just requires 1 intelligence. And whenever you do a reset and your roll includes a 6, get a point. I mean, it's not going to be that many points in total. I mean, there's 4 eras, and you're going to reset maybe maximum 3 times. So that'd be like 12 points if you build it immediately. And having more intelligence gives you more points. Yeah. Anyway, then you've got smoked food. In every feeding phase, in each of up to 3 territories, choose one of yours. These are considered fed. Now that is nice. Sorry, mathematics, but I am going to go for smoked food because the fact that you can have 3 guys that are fed is huge. Even though I don't have any of the resources yet, I'll just have to try and get it because smoked food is really nice. Or maybe I can actually start with it. Yeah, if I take this one, I would start with it. But then, of course, I won't have the venomous sting stuff. We'll have to figure that out later. Okay. Then we have irrigation or currency. So currency costs 1 gold, which I cannot afford any of them because none of my starting resources give me that. So I don't have to worry about that. Currency just gives me, if I do an activity, it can get me 2 gold. And it doesn't cost anything. Just boom, 2 gold. Which is okay, I guess. This one is whenever you produce any production in the forest or in grasslands, produce twice that many instead. Ooh. And then when you complete it, you can complete a goal and get a new one. Yeah, I like that one better. Sorry, currency. Okay, bye-bye currency. And then we have tavern or ziggurat. So the ziggurat requires 2 stones, 3 points, and it increases the construction, which is the 3rd era, by 4. It immediately goes to here. So it's an upgrade and this, which is very nice. But like I said, very expensive. 2 stone. There's no way that I start with stone. I don't know how far I need to go for stone. Stone could be right here. It can also be there, which is way farther. The other one is tavern. So an activity, you spend 1 food, you get 3 points and 2 gold. And you need to have 1 rice. Rice is what I also do not have at the moment. Salt, sorry, not rice, salt. I think I'm going to go for ziggurat because I just like that upgrade so much, especially for the points. It's technically 12 points, this card. Yeah, 12 points. Even more, 15, because you get 3 already. It's a 15 card point. 15 point card. And then you get both these upgrades as well, which makes it even more valuable. While the tavern, albeit nice, you go up 2 spots, I know. But yeah, plus food, I tend to keep around. I don't really like to spend it. All right, so I've made my choice. So these are the cards and these are the resources that I require. Now, the question is, what do I want to do first? Because venomous thing is nice for migration, but I might not be migrating immediately, even though having an amount of people is important. It's a lot of points, and also territory is a lot of points. But I don't think I need it necessarily immediately. So I think makeup I don't have to worry about because I already have it. So that shouldn't go into the equation. That's not necessary. It's not important. Ziggurat cannot go in there because it's all stone and they don't offer stone anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it's just these 3 then. This one requires tar or wood, also not offered. So basically it comes down to what do we want, the venomous thing or the smoked food. I think the smoked food, because then I don't have to worry about food. I can keep the food for the prosperity, which I'm going to score in the 2nd era. So I'm going to go for whatever helps me get smoked food faster, which will be the starting markers. Okay, so this one, the first one, I mean. Yeah. All right, so these 2 go away. So basically I get 1 peat, 1 copper, and actually 1 copper is right here. So I'm going to be able to get that too, which is even better. And then I get 1 stamina and 1 expressiveness. Oh, I'm so good at expressing myself. I should play NWA. Express yourself. Okay, so good. And then I also get 1 food, 2 money, 1 focus, and 2 ideas. Nice. All right, so that will be my hand. This one will also go away because I've gotten everything I need. And then we have to decide on the starting chips. So I'll put my starting hand there for a while. So the starting chips, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we get 2 of them and we choose 1 for the starting chips. Display as many of them as there are civilizations plus 1. Okay, so 3 of them. So let's say this one. Wow. This one's a bit too eager. So this one, which is money and trade. Now, I've never had a game with trade before. Basic sale and purchase. That might be interesting. This one is very interesting because we score that in the beginning. Well, maybe not that interesting. It says insight though. Insight gives you the ideas. So that would immediately set me up for how many ideas? 6 ideas. Nice. This one is mutation. So mutation upgraded means I can move 2 things around. And also this is an, yeah, the income chip is automatically, but the income chip that basically lets me roll, and if it's good, I can draw a card, which is pretty powerful as well, because cards are not always that easy to come by. But now, also interesting, on all those three, there will be a goal, and then that will go on my console immediately. So the first one will have 2 inventions. I don't like that because it's difficult to do that quickly. I want something simple. -1 cotton, also not easy because we do not have any cotton near. Well, we do have it nearby, I think. Yeah, we do have it nearby because it's the brown area, but oh, a glacier. Are you kidding me? I was hoping for something nice and easy. But I'm going to have 2 goals. I'm going to have one of these and then one of those, so I can have copper, so that's fine. I think I'm going to go for this one. Even though the income chip is not that good. The income chip just lets me move something around, which I guess is fine, but I think the money is way better, but I don't like the goal. This one is, it is good though, and mutation is just okay. But leveling up mutation, if I level it up again, I can place these cards easier. And if I'm going to focus on getting this, getting the evolution thing done, getting as many as possible, it could start like a really nice thing. So, but the goal sucks though. Oh yeah, I'm going to go mutation. I'm going to go mutation. I don't know if it's good, the correct choice. Definitely not for the glacier, but we'll see. Now the question is, do I immediately get the income or not? I don't think so. No, you don't get it immediately. That's what I thought. Okay, so we're finally ready to go. These 2 go back in the bag. These 2 go away. I flipped over my mutation. I'll put my cards here so they're easy to see. All right, for everyone. And well, let's get this party started, right? Okay, so first we reveal the top card of each deck. So the mutation has this one, expressiveness, which I already have 1 of, so that's nice. Each time before you perform a hunt, one of your tribe members may migrate to an adjacent foreign territory. That's nice, so you can go, that's just nice, easier to hunt. Meteorology. In an activity, you get 1 idea. Also move the weather indicator 1 step. Effects are not triggered, so you can move it more up or down. And also you can flip over activity, which is also just okay. Then the next one is drawing compass. So you can flip planning twice. That is awesome. That is really awesome. And you can spend more money to get it. So I'm doing it like this because of lack of space. All right. Achievement. That is nice. Yeah, that's a good one. Furniture. Go up 3 tracks. That's not bad. I like going up tracks. So, and building is a residence. You may ignore any negative effects of the weather indicator and of glaciers. Now this one, compared to my goal, is a match made in heaven. Let's take a look at the weather. So we're at mild at the moment. It will go down 1, so we'll be on rainy, which means I should save 1 money, so $1 or 1 gold. So once we do reach rainy, I can pay the gold and then move up a track. And it says all civilizations with the most built boats must return 1 of them to their console. If there are any tribes on it, they are removed. For doing so, each of them gains 2 points, 1 wood, and 1 cotton. It's a tsunami. Wow. So you have to wonder if a boat is worth 2 points, 1 wood, and 1 cotton. I guess it would be, especially since we've got prosperity. So maybe it's not bad to get a boat just to use a boat. We're already next to water anyway, so that makes it easier to build one. Okay, so that's done. Then new goals. So I will choose, since I'm first player, I'll choose the copper. We're actually, by the way, we're playing solo, right? We're playing, I thought we were going to play beginner level, but we are going to do moderate, if I remember. If we do moderate, that means that in the last era, we're going to use the red side of the AI cards instead of the blue side. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, anyway, so the gold chip, so they will then roll a die to see which gold chip they remove, if any. 6, no. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, they will remove. 5, 6, they do nothing. So they do nothing. Then I replenish the gold chip, and that is -1 clay. All right. So, extra find. So I'm in the forest, I'm in the grassland. Are any of these required in what I want to build? Now, all those cards are going to be level 1, so none of them is what I need. But because I don't want to waste any time on the oil, I'm going to do a lucky find for oil. That way I can immediately play makeup. I don't need to wait for it. I don't need to transport the oil out first. So there you go. So then we go down. Oh yeah, they don't do a lucky find. No. Okay, and then me and Vici, because that's the name of the AI, will take alternate turns. Okay, so me first. So I think I'll just keep it simple and play makeup first. Yeah, because that's the best and most simple option. So I spend oil, but also I have to play a brown card. So that's 1 and 6. So I spent 1 and 6. Take makeup. I'll place it here, and then I go up the green track 3 times. So that allows me to flip over a green console action. So basically all the 2s. So that could be research, activity, sustenance, procreation, or mutation. So mutation is already leveled up. If I do it again, it becomes easier to play these. So I'm going to upgrade mutation and immediately get it to level 3. Just for those future cards, I either ignore one of the cost bases or you build 2 cards at once. And then it's Vicky's turn. So flips the first card. Next era scoring category. So that basically means prosperity times 2. So she's going to get 2 more of these. So she's already at 4. At the moment, I'm at 1 because of the money. I don't have any other prosperity at the moment. So then it's back to me, as you only had 1 red circle. So I played that card already. Playing any other cards are going to be difficult because they require 6 and a number. Of course, I have my focus, I have my idea. I could change the 5 into a 6. But is there anything that I can play immediately? Smoked food I could play immediately. But I think I want to try and do planning so I can immediately finish copper and then I can flip something else as an upgrade. And I have an idea of what I want to flip. So I'm going to do 3, 4, which is planning. So I finish copper. I'll put it here. I'll put my goals up high. Maybe I'll put it here. No, I'm going to put it here. But then, yes, I'll stay there. Okay, and then since 3 and 4, I remove the copper. Done. And then I can flip something, and I'm going to flip achievement. So I can immediately get 2 dice. And that's what's going to be my next move, getting those 2 dice. Okay, so then it is Vicky's turn. The 4th era scoring category times 1. So she'll go up once on the green track. So she's trying to catch me. Okay, back to me. So I am not going to change my 2 with ideas. Instead, I'm going to use my focus to do 5 and 6. And that means I get 2 dice. And the white die will be rolled immediately. So that's a 6. So technically I can play a green card. But I don't have the stuff for a green card, so that's not going to work. So then it's back to Vicky. She's going to roll a die to see what she does. That's a 6. she is going to go up once on the brown track, which is fine because that doesn't have any special scores. Then it's back to me. I have a 2 and a 6. Now I could also reset now. The minimum would be 3 before you can reset, but I've got 2, so I could reset, but I don't think so because I can play one card. I can play smoked food, so I can play one idea. So this becomes a 3, and I'm gonna just trying to maximize my turns here. So 3 and 6 would allow me to play that, or I can also use it for insight and add 3 here. No, I'm gonna play the card. I want to get all of that done first. So I spend my peat and I get the smoked food out. There we go. So in every feeding phase, in each of up to 3 territories, one of them will be considered fed. So at the moment I don't have to feed anyone. So I'm done there. Then it's Vici. So she still is not resetting because she doesn't have 4 squares. She has a lot of circles, but not 4 squares. She's going to roll a die again. It's another 6, and it means she increases her evolution. And she puts down a hunting token. So basically when it comes down to hunting, what she's going to do is the best hunting territory where we both are. So that's obviously the forest, so she's hunting in the forest. Now at this point I don't care because I don't have to feed anyone anyway. Then it's me, I'm going to reset. So up. I have to put this in food or idea. I'll put it in idea since I don't need food. I mean, I can use food for the prestige, but that's next round. What I need actually is to upgrade my bottom parts. That sounds bad, but anyway. Okay, so I need doubles is what I need, and I hardly have any doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. So it's actually fine sense of smell that I could try and get because I have so many 5s. So yeah, that's basically my turn. Back to Vici. And then she will reset as well. Yeah, she resets. So up. So when she resets, nothing really happens. All her cards just go to the right, and then it's back to me. So yeah, I need to upgrade the bottom stuff, and preferably I would have to upgrade composure. So I'm going to spend 1 idea to turn my 2 into a 3. So I have a double 3, and then I have 1 composure. So then we go back to her. This error scoring category times 1. So she adds another 1 to evolution, so she's got 4 already. Back to me. I'm on the back foot now because I only have 3. I will spend my double 5 to add another 1 to expressiveness. Then this error scoring category times 2. Are you kidding me? She's really going for it. And she's going to remove one of the golden ones. She's going to roll, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 1. Luckily she's removing the one that I don't really care for. I mean, it's the one that makes you unaffected by glaciers and everything. So that's actually quite nice. But, you know, I like the other 2 as well. But a new one comes out at least. And that is flexible civilization. So you need to have 3 vision. Whenever you do a reset, gain an additional idea. That's pretty nice as well. Back to me. So I'm going to spend another idea to have 6, 6, I think, to have 1 vision. I need to count because she has 6. I have 5 at the moment. All right, so she's going to roll a die. It's 1. So she puts 1 statue here. Done. Back to me, and it's going to be a reset because I have nothing else to do. It'll go to the ideas and move forward. I reroll my dice. Whoa, 4 6s. A 1 and a 5. So I do want to play Venomous Sting because I can now, because of the upgrade I can ignore. Because then this goes up, means I can roll 2 dice, and because I have 2 dice already, but I can roll 1 or 2 to have a success, and I have 2 dice, so it increases the chances quite a lot. Anyway, I reset it, so it's back to her. She's not resetting yet. She's going to roll a die again. Looks like she's going to migrate. 2. Yes, she is. No, she's not going to migrate. She's going to procreate. So where there's at least one free encampment, so that's both of them. So attention, if afterwards every encampment in all of Vicky's territories are occupied, no, that doesn't happen. Otherwise, she'd immediately move out, but that's not the case. But she's going to add also a provision. So she would add it in the location where she has the fewest and most tribes. So basically, wherever this guy goes, that's where I will no longer be able to build a farm. So in this case, there's a tie. She doesn't really care which one it is then, so she has to roll a die to see where she's going. So it's 3, so that will be mountains. So we do the next one, grassland. So she's going to grassland. She's going to get 1 point, and she's going to block the space there. So 1 point for Vicky. Wow, that's far. Okay, and then back to me. I will spend 2 6s to upgrade my vision. So I have 6 now, just as much as her. So I was hoping to actually beat her, like by a lot, but it's not going to work. And then she resets again because she's got 4/4, so she doesn't do the action. So it goes down. Okay, so I could do 6 6 5 5 and then have 2 more upgrades and not do anything else. And if I do that, I would have quite a lot more points than her when it comes down to there. It comes down to that. But building would also be interesting, or doing achievement again to get 2 extra dice. I'm going to do achievement again, 5 6, to get 2 extra dice. That's a 5. That's not too bad. Her turn. Each of the 3 scoring categories with scoring tiles in the final scoring area from left to right. So basically, this goes up 1, this goes up 1, and then we've got the guy, which means they will once again procreate. So this guy will come here. That's 1 point. And remember, it says, if afterwards every encampment in all of Vicky's territories is occupied by one of Vicky's own tribes, immediately migrates. So they're going to migrate from, once again, we have to see where from because it's a tie, right? So we'll see 3 mountains. So they're going to migrate from the grasslands. And the question there is from where are they going to go? Either the desert or the swamp. Once again, we have to roll because it's a 3-way tie again. So it's a 2. 2 is swamp. There's 2 swamps, but if it's number 2, it's with 1 fire. So they are going here to get 2 points, and they also reveal the resource, but they don't put anything down. So the resource there is coal, which doesn't necessarily help me. Okay, my turn. I could do 5 6 again and get another 2 dice, but I'm not going to do that because I'm tied with her now, but I need more because especially it's 5 points. I gotta say it feels a bit silly doing the same thing all the time, but however, if I do 6 again, I can actually get the flexible civilization. Whenever you do a reset, gain an additional idea, which I really like. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend my idea, get 6 6, put another one down. I've got 3 now. I'm not going to use it yet, but I'm going to do it later after we've scored, of course. Okay, back to Vicky. You're going to roll a die. 5. Go up the yellow track once. There we go. So you can see the AI, they go up the tracks pretty quickly, actually. Okay, back to me. So I've got 1 4. 1 4 is exploration or a lucky find. Now, exploration isn't that bad because it's going to give me a bunch of points. I can't do a lot extra aside from that, so I think I'll just do exploration. Because the lucky find doesn't interest me all that much, especially since I don't need any of those things that are there. So 1-4, lucky find. Sorry, not lucky find, exploration. I'll do it here at the forest. So that's a building ground. That gives me 1 point. Yay. And then here is a building ground, which gives me 1 point. Yay. That was exciting. All right, back to Vici. So she's going to roll a die and go up a track. 1. So she's going to go up the brown track, and then she's also going to get rid of a card. I think she will just, what is it? Remove the top card from the face-up one, and if it's empty, refill it. Okay, so basically this goes away, and then a new one comes out, which is the wheel. Point bonus at game end, number of cards and chips in this column times 1. And you get 2 points. Go up 2 on the technology track, which is not bad. So I'm going to reset. Obviously, it'll become an idea. Obviously, this goes here. So it says the next time the starting civilization takes a turn is the last action round. So basically, I get another turn after this. So it's a double 4. Triple 2, a 4 and a 6. Wow. So triple 4 and triple 2. And 2-4, by the way, is sustenance. And 2-6 is mutation, so I can move stuff around. That's interesting. And 4-6 is sale and purchase, which is useless at the moment. Okay, so back to Vici. I think she will reset too, even though at this point it doesn't matter. Yeah, she resets. Yep. So basically it's, I have 1 more turn, she has 1 more turn, and over. So I already have 3, 5, 7, while she has 6. So if I add another one, then I will have a majority by 10 points or something. Or I could build Venomous Sting, because then I will be up to level 2, and then with level 2, I'll have a higher chance to do this one. But I think it's better to just do the upgrade. For irrigation, well, I don't really have to care about any of those. I think I'll just do double 4. Let's take a look at the 2. No, double 2. Double 2? No, double 4. Yep. And then it's Vicky's last turn. We roll a die. That's mine, that's not hers. So she rolls a die. It's 1. So it goes up 1 on the blue track, discards the top one, and reveals the next one. And that is Arena. So it costs 2 iron ore, and then it's really nice though. +3 and +2. Okay, and then we will move on to the next phase.